I am repeating and quickly revising the human nervous system. As we all know that human nervous system is basically divided or comprises of three major nervous system. The very first one is called as central nervous system, which comprises of brain and spinal cord. Second type of nervous system is peripheral nervous system, which includes all the nerves that are coming or emerging from brain and spinal cord. And the third type of nervous system is called as autonomic nervous system, which will include all the nerves which aren't in our control. Now, in the sequence, we will be learning first about brain, then spinal cord in detail. But before that, let me give you a quick information about peripheral nervous system. Now, we all know that brain is the part which is very important, which has a complete hold and control on our body. And undoubtedly, there'll be millions of neurons inside brain. Correct? Now, will there be any nerves coming from spinal cord? If I am saying that the central nervous system is made up of two things, brain and spinal cord. So can I say brain and spinal cord are the main decision maker? Yes, correct. So if brain and spinal cord are going to make the decisions, will there be requirement of nerves who will carry their messages, who will order and who will receive messages? Yes, तो brain and spinal cord के connection में भी nerves चाहिए. This is nothing but our peripheral nervous system. मतलब पूरे body में wherever you find nerves in contact with brain and spinal cord, ये सारे type के nerves will come under peripheral nervous system. If any nerve is emerging from brain, that nerve will be called as cranial nerve. Why? Because brain is enclosed in cranium. Okay? सो ब्रेन से अगर कोई भी नर्व्स आते हैं उन सारे नर्व्स को हम लोग क्रेनियल नर्व्स कह के पुकारते हैं. एंड ऑल द नर्व्स व्हिच आर इमर्जिंग फ्रॉम स्पाइनल कॉर्ड will be called as spinal nerves. So there will be again many nerves under peripheral nervous system spread throughout the body. Okay, that is all about our peripheral nervous system with respect to your syllabus in the textbook. You have no more details of how many nerves, what are their functions, not present absolutely. Moving on to the third type of nervous system, which is autonomic nervous system. Now, when I'm saying involuntary movements, what do we mean by involuntary movements? Can anyone explain? What is involuntary? Correct, very good. I'm expecting more answers. Very good. Exactly. Involuntary means all the movements which are not in our control. Now, can you guys give me an example? Very good. I have received one example of cardiac muscles. So, heart keeps beating, and heart is an organ made up of cardiac muscles which are not in our control. Very good example. Second, yes, eyelids. Third, correct, diaphragm movement. Sneezing, yes, to a bit. Hiccups, yes. Secretion of sweat. So these are involuntary things which happen, but they are not under a nervous system. Correct. The process of digestion, all the nerves. Burping, okay. Urinary bladder in small child, very good example. Lovely. Movement of lungs, yes, correct. So this includes, your examples are including now all involuntary movements. Now let me ask you, what will be perfect example for reflex action? Now what is the meaning of reflex action? Let's say if any activity is taking place, and to that specific activity our body is responding very quickly without even you thinking that body or we need to think on it. Correct. Throwing ice from a hand, very good. When a hand touches the candle flames, yes, correct. Heat burn, correct. Touching a hot object, correct. Reaction to jump scare, yes, correct. Or let's say there's a needle or a sharp object which has pricked our hand. Yes, very good. So you are well versed with the term called as reflex actions. ये जो भी सारे reflex actions हैं वो directly हमारे control में नहीं रहते. We don't have to think that how do we need to react to that specific activity. So all such nerves which are not under our control comes under autonomic nervous system. Clear? Okay. Now let's move on to our hero, that is central nervous system. And when I'm saying central nervous system, the first thing which we need to study is the brain. Okay. Now in this given diagram, you all are able to see our central nervous system as well as the peripheral nervous system. Okay. Why brain is the hero? Can a person's body survive without presence of brain? Absolutely not. Then the person will be declared as dead. We can survive without a hand, without a leg, maybe even without few organs. Yeah, if the heart is not beating, we still have a chance of ventilator, we have pacemaker, we have different surgeries. Okay, so brain is always the hero, remember. Now we all have seen brain. Yes, many the entire uneven surface present over the brain are called as convolutions. Just like the nephron ka convolutions, proximal and distal. Yes. So all these twists and turns, wavy structure on the brains are called as convolutions. And we have also seen what are the terms used for front, back, upper and niche. We refer the frontal side as ventral side, back side as dorsal side, upper side as anterior side, and lower side as posterior side. I have even explained you why does the ventral side of the brain is at the lower part, because while the brain is developing, it is developing in a very straight manner, and during the embryogenesis, that means when the embryo is formed, उस time पे brain fold होके comma shaped बन जाता है. Correct? Okay. Now we have also seen different images of brain, right? The frontal, the back side. Now we know that our brain is divided into two equal halves, forming left brain and right brain. The part which divides the brain into two equal halves is called as median longitudinal fissure. Now, when I'm saying that the brain is divided into two halves, that means each side of the brain has different role and functions. Now, you might be aware of the term that our left side of the body is under the control of right brain, and entire right side of the body is under the control of left brain. The connections are crisscross. Now on the screen, you are able to see functions of both left side and right side of the brain. If a person is right-handed, doesn't mean that the right brain is not working. It simply means that the left-hand side of the brain is little more developed as compared to the right brain. So let's have a look at the functions. The left side of the brain functions for analytical thinking, logical thinking, language, science, and mathematics. Whereas the right hand side of the brain functions for more holistic thinking, more listening towards intuitions, more creative side, and these people will be more explore or will be more interested into arts and music. Okay, now there's a question. What if the person, both of the brains are developed? Which is very good. There are also many such activities by which students, or I would say humans at very young age, can parallelly develop both of their brains. Example I gave you an of abacus, where the child in the early ages of their age practice various techniques to develop both of the sides of the brain simultaneously. Okay. Now, what have we learned under central nervous system? We've seen that the space between the delicate central nervous system and the bony covering are the protective layers called as meninges. So what is a meninge? Meninge is that delicate protective covering layers which is present in the central nervous system. मतलब ये transparent jelly like substances रहेंगे which is going to cover the brain and spinal cord. Do you remember the first image of brain which we have seen, which contains a jelly like covering on it? Yes, that is nothing but meninges. Now there are many cavities present inside. Okay, these various cavities, जितने भी spaces छोटे छोटे रहते हैं inside the brain are called as ventricles. ठीक है, so brain के अंदर कोई भी cavity रहेंगे, उस सारे cavities को हम लोग ventricles कहेंगे. Similarly, if I am saying spinal cord, तो spinal cord के भी अंदर cavity हो सकती है, लेकिन वो tubular रहेगी, very much cylindrical. Cavity is nothing but space. So the space inside the brain is called as ventricle, and space inside the spinal cord is called as central canal. Okay. Cavities present in various parts of the brain are called as ventricles, and the long tubular cavity of the spinal cord is called as central canal. अभी इस spaces में एक special type का fluid रहेगा. Okay. This fluid will be called as CSF. What do we mean by it? CSF means cerebrospinal fluid. So the ventricles, the central canal, and the spaces between the meninges are filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Correct. Kaushiki, your answer is correct. This fluid will prevent the body or brain and spinal cord from getting any shocks. Now, I don't mean electric shocks. Tell me, brain and spinal cord are very important and delicate organs. Yes, therefore they are covered or protected with a bony covering. Brain is covered with cranium, which is a tough, hard, bony covering, and spinal cord is also covered under vertebral column, inside the vertebral column, correct? Now, when we jump, when we fall, are there any chances that we might cause any damage to brain and spinal cord? Yes, there exist many chances. Therefore, the CSF is going to prevent brain and spinal cord from getting any mechanical shocks. Okay. Plus, these are also protected with the bony coverings. Okay. Now we have to understand how was broadly brain divided as. So there are three main categories of brain: upper, mid, and the bottom one. So let me call the upper brain as forebrain. सबसे ऊपर वाला, बीच वाला, middle part of the brain will be called as midbrain, and the पीछे वाला, back side of the brain will be called as hindbrain. So in the diagram, we are able to see the forebrain, which is this much part, midbrain, काफी छोटा part है, and hindbrain, that's the bottom part of the brain. Okay. Now let's understand different parts of brain. Now this is going to be interesting. So let's understand parts of brain. Remember, forebrain wala jitna bhi part hai, that entire part is called as cerebrum. So remember, पूरे brain का 70% of the part is cerebrum. Brain का सबसे बड़ा वाला part is cerebrum. Okay. Then the triangular structure present at the hindbrain area is called as cerebellum. दोनों के बीच में से, that is from midbrain, arises a brainstem. The arrow which are able to see, the slight curved part is called as pons, and pons के नीचे there's one more slight curve which is called as medulla oblongata. Okay, let's revise the labels. Answer my questions quickly. Cerebrum is the bigger part of the brain. It comprises of dash amount of brain. Very good. 70% of the brain. Now tell me, cerebrum is in the forebrain area. Which part of the brain is present in the hindbrain area? Hindbrain. Niche. Correct. Cerebellum, which is triangular structure. Okay. Between forebrain and hindbrain is present midbrain, from where two structures arise, which I had just shown it to you. Correct. First curved is called as, right, pons, and the second one, medulla oblongata. OB, LONGATA, oblongata. ठीक है, और इसी के नीचे से स्पाइनल कॉर्ड का कंटिन्यूएशन रहेगा. Okay, parts of the brains are clear? Clear to all? Yes, no? Okay, now let's move on to the functions. If again anybody is giving you this diagram in exam, you should be able to label them properly. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, this is the diagram given in your textbook, which explains the part like cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, उसी के नीचे spinal cord. See, when I am saying forebrain, I am only telling you about the area. Don't call cerebrum as forebrain. So let's see the labeling part. Convolutions of cerebrum. We have grayish color cerebellum, triangular structure here. Pons, very circular structure. यहाँ पे उसी के नीचे we have medulla oblongata, and medulla oblongata के नीचे arises spinal cord. Okay, now always remember, this is a very, very important MCQ. There, the brain weighs 300 to 400 grams. The weight of the brain is 300 to 400 grams in an adult. and it approximately contains or consists of 100 billion neurons. Can you imagine? Weight of the brain is 1300 to 1400 grams. That is 1.3 to 1.4 kg. Sorry, I mistakenly said 300. It's 1300 to 1400 grams. Okay? Now let's understand the functions. First part, cerebrum. It controls all voluntary movements, concentration, planning, decision making, memory, intelligence, and intellectual activities. Okay? Yeah, I'm repeating. Cerebrum, which is the 70% of the brain, it has a control on all voluntary movements which we want to do. So if I'm saying voluntary, that means it will obviously include decision making, planning, executing something, thinking about something. So it will have area of concentration, planning, decision making, memory, intelligence, and intellectual activities. Moving on to cerebellum. There are two main functions. First one is coordination of voluntary movements. Although voluntary movements का control cerebrum के पास में है, लेकिन within the organs सबका coordination बराबर हो रहा है कि नहीं will be done or will be checked by cerebellum. And cerebellum will also ensure that body is having a good balance. So when a person is consuming a lot of alcohol, what happens is cerebellum is not able to do the proper work. Therefore, the person loses the control over the body. Getting it? Okay. Moving on to next, that is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata will have control on involuntary activities like beating of heart, blood circulation, breathing, sneezing, coughing, and salivation. Medulla oblongata, easy to remember. Cerebrum, voluntary activities. Cerebellum, coordination of voluntary activities and maintaining body's balance. Medulla oblongata, involuntary activities. So just give 2 to 3 examples. Now let's come to spinal cord. Okay, meaning of the word salivation. That is nothing but formation of saliva in the mouth, which is not in your control. You cannot always keep your mouth dry. Moving on to next, that is spinal cord. Spinal cord has three major functions. Number one, conduction of impulses from skin to brain, conduction of impulses from brain to muscles and to different glands, and functions as center of coordination of reflex action. क्यों? क्योंकि ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम भी है जो रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन के लिए ध्यान देती है. Impulse ka meaning is a signal. We have learned this while we were learning the nerve. Okay, any doubts? So spinal cord will have three major functions because there are three major nervous system. Okay, there's one more doubt, that what is the function of pons? So pons is very much into involuntary actions ka control, like regulation of respiration and all those stuff. Okay. And here we complete with our nervous system, moving on to the next interesting system for the very first time, which is endocrine system. Now, what is endocrine system? Okay, first let's understand what is endocrine system. We had studied that our body is controlled by two systems. One is nervous system and second is endocrine system. Agar nervous system is going to deal with nerves, endocrine system is going to deal with chemicals. What are these chemicals? Let's have a look at them. So first, remember, endocrine system is nothing but a chemical messenger system. And let's call this chemical messages as hormones. So what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers which are or that are secreted by glands. So there are very small pocket or small organs जिनका body में functions ही है to produce hormones and to release them. All such organs will be called as glands. Since yes, very good example, adrenal gland, which we had learned while learning excretory system. Correct? So अगर कोई भी organ hormone बना रहा है, we will call that specific organ as endocrine gland. And what is the function of an endocrine gland? To produce a specific hormone and to release it in the blood. Okay? Now, how does hormone work? Number one, hormones are released by internal glands of that specific organisms directly into circulatory system. Now, when I'm saying circulatory system, what am I referring to? Circulatory system में क्या क्या होता है? Correct, blood. So let me give you an example. We have studied adrenal gland ka structure. We have seen how does adrenal gland looks like. Was there any special connection near adrenal gland which will take adrenaline hormone to different parts of the body? No, there wasn't any special connection. That means जो भी hormone बना है वो directly blood में जाएगा and blood will take it to the respective organ wherever it needs to be dropped. So blood is acting like a transport system. Correct? So if hormones, Janvi, please switch off your video. So if hormones are not having any specific pathway, let me call that hormones are ductless. That means without any specific or special connection. Okay. Now we were at a point that hormones are released by internal glands of an organism and directly released into circulatory system. अभी blood में hormones गए, यहाँ से वो कहाँ पे जाएंगे? Simple. Circulatory system will carry these hormones and will take the hormones to the targeted organs. मतलब जिस organ में जाके इस chemical messages को affect करना है, वहां पे blood will drop them. Simple. Okay, now human body has various hormones. We will address them one by one. First one is hypothalamus. Very important. Situated. Now we will learn them based on location, which hormones does that gland secretes, and what is the function of that specific hormone. First gland is hypothalamus. इसका लोकेशन रहेगा मिड ब्रेन में. ठीक है? एंड मिड ब्रेन में एक छोटा पी साइज्ड और एक ग्लैंड है जिसका नाम है पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड. ये एग्जैक्टली उसके ऊपर रहेगा. So the name of the gland is hypothalamus, which is present in the midbrain above pituitary gland, and it is going to secrete all the hormones which will control the activity of pituitary hormone. Sorry, pituitary gland. Okay, what is the meaning of gland? Gland is any organ in the body which produces hormone. Okay, so what's the function of the hormones released by hypothalamus? To control the activity of pituitary gland. See, you are able to see the location. सबसे पहले hypothalamus है and the location is given here. Next, now this is the diagram in which this is where hypothalamus is present. That's slightly very near to forebrain, and we have pituitary gland hanging here, exactly hypothalamus के नीचे. This is how a pituitary gland looks like. Very much like a green pea size, उतना छोटा रहेगा. And this is nothing but hypothalamus. So जो भी hormones hypothalamus secrete करेंगे, उससे pituitary will be controlled. Okay. Now let's have a look at the next gland, which is obviously pituitary gland. Where is it located? At the base of the brain. It secretes hormone like GH, growth hormone. Growth hormone ka function is it stimulates growth of bones. Second one is adrenocorticotropic hormone. It will stimulate the adrenal gland. Then we have thyroid stimulating hormone, also called as TSH. ये hormone thyroid gland को stimulate करेगा. Now, what do you mean by stimulating? I will give you an example. Example, pituitary will first release adrenocorticotropic hormone. कहाँ से रिलीज होगा? पिट्यूटरी से रिलीज होगा. किधर जाएगा? ब्लड में जाएगा. ब्लड से ये कहाँ पे जाएगा? टिल एड्रेनल ग्लैंड. सो ये adrenocorticotropic hormone will go and reach till adrenal gland and it will give it a signal. And based on this signal, the adrenal gland will now produce its own hormone. Are you getting it? Okay. Next, prolactin hormone. It will stimulate milk production, obviously after pregnancy into females. Follicle stimulating hormones will control the growth of gonads. Gonads are nothing but the sex cells. Luteinizing hormone, it will control menstrual cycle and ovulation in females. Oxytocin hormone will control contraction of uterus during parturition. Now, what is the meaning of parturition? Parturition is nothing but process of delivering a baby. Okay, then we have antidiuretic hormone. It will control the water levels of the body. That means indirectly it is also going to control urination. Pituitary gland is shown with the dark blue color over here. Next, moving on to thyroid gland, which is going to secrete two hormones, that is thyroxine and calcitonin. Thyroxine ka function will be to control growth of body and metabolic activities. Calcitonin will be functioning for calcium metabolism and calcium levels in the blood. These hormones are also referred as T3 and T4. Okay, there is a doubt in the chat box. What are gonads? Gonads are nothing but the sex cells. Okay, now look at the location. Thyroid gland is present in the neck area. This area is also called as pharyngeal area. ठीक है, exactly thyroid hormone के आगे एक butterfly जैसा hormone आ रहा है, which is also given in pink color. This butterfly like hormone which is covering our thyroid gland is called as parathyroid gland. ये एक के ऊपर एक रहते हैं. Okay, moving on to the next, which is parathyroid gland. So basically these are four glands behind thyroid gland. It is going to release parath hormone. And what is the function? Simple. It controls metabolism of calcium and phosphorus inside our body. That's a very simple function in gland. Okay, what is the meaning of metabolism? Can anybody answer this question? What is the meaning of metabolism? Okay, metabolism is nothing but wear and tear of the body. So if anything is getting broken down into small parts, it is called as catabolism. If anything is getting built up, it is called as anabolism. In दोनों process को आप मिला दो, that is maintaining the body. Simple as that. By breaking and by taking things together, this is what is togetherly or collectively called as metabolism. Basic wear and tear of the body, maintenance. Simple as that. Okay. Now, next very, very important glands, which is called as pancreas. Is pancreas में there are 4 different type of cells, and हर एक different type of cell will be secreting different type of hormone. So alpha cell will secrete glucagon hormone, and the function will be to stimulate liver to convert glycogen into glucose. Beta cells will secrete insulin. These are just the name of hormones. You cannot ask me the meaning of what is insulin. Delta cells will secrete somatostatin, and PP cells are nothing but polypeptide cells or pancreatic polypeptide cells. They will secrete a hormone called as pancreatic polypeptide. Okay, now next, let's have a look at the location of pancreas. Pancreas are situated here below the stomach. So the green color is nothing but the stomach. उसके आजू बाजू पूरे जो आपको देखेंगे, that's pancreas. Don't look at the brown part, it's nothing but the liver. Moving on to adrenal gland. Okay, this is familiar to you. Where are these located? And end of each kidney, they release 2 hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and third one is corticosteroid hormone. Adrenaline functions for all the behavior of our which occurs during crisis, emotional situation, or some things which we haven't ever experienced. Noradrenaline stimulates heart and conducting tissue and metabolic process. Corticosteroid hormone is going to balance sodium and potassium ions in the body so that body is well maintained. That means to stimulate metabolism. You all also are aware about the location, adrenal gland, shown in purple color, very small, like cap on the kidney. Okay, next we have 3 main glands, which are ovaries in females, testes in males, and thymus in both of the gender. Location of ovaries on either side of the uterus of the women. Ovary will be secreting 2 hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. Function of estrogen are 2, which is to stimulate growth of endometrium, stimulate growth of endometrium. Now what is endometrium? Uterus जो होता है, the bag in which the baby grows, उस बैग के इंटरनल लाइनिंग को हम लोग कहते हैं एंडोमेट्रियम. Okay. Second, yes, it stimulates growth of secondary sexual characters in women. That is after puberty. जो भी changes होते हैं, that is because of estrogen hormone. Progesterone. Progesterone prepares the endometrium, that is the internal lining of uterus, for conception and for maintaining the pregnancy. Let's come to second last hormone, that is testes. In males, location, they are present inside the scrotal sac. Hormone which is released is called as testosterone. It stimulates growth of secondary sexual characters in men, which are like beard, mustache, hoarse voice, all the changes which occurs in men's post puberty hit. And let's come to the last gland of our entire endocrine system, that is thymus. Where is it present? Inside the thoracic cage, near the heart. It releases a hormone called as thymosin. And what is the function of thymosin? It controls the cells which give rise to immunity. Okay? Thank you.